Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something you've probably got sitting in a pantry or a vending machine right down the hall. We all instantly recognize that iconic red wrapper, right? Well, it turns out there is some incredibly complex science, agriculture, and heavy-duty engineering hiding inside every single bite of a Kitkat. It's this fascinating process that perfectly blends patient natural farming with ultra-high-tech industrial precision. Let's get into it. We're starting right on the factory floor, where an absolutely mind-boggling 8 million of these crispy, chocolatey treats are crafted every single day at one of the world's largest chocolate factories. That sheer volume is just staggering. I mean, pulling that off requires a production line that runs with absolutely flawless, mesmerizing efficiency just to keep up with global demand. So, what actually lies beneath that wrapper? How does it go from raw ingredients to that perfect snap? To figure that out, we've got to look way past the hyper-precise robotics and trace this 15-hour makeover all the way back to its highly manual origins. Because long before a machine ever touches this chocolate, the foundation of its flavor is carefully cultivated by human hands. Believe it or not, the journey starts continents away under the intense West African sun. Every July, farmers meticulously handpick ripe cocoa pods. They crack them open to extract the precious beans inside. But they aren't shipped out right away. Instead, they lay the beans out on massive mats for an 8-day natural sun-drying process. As the days pass, the outer shells harden, moisture evaporates, and that incredibly deep flavor gets securely locked right inside the bean. Now, before these raw cocoa beans are even allowed to step foot inside the state-of-the-art factory, they basically have to pass a strict entrance exam. First, a moisture check guarantees optimal dryness so they don't get moldy. Second, a rigorous size and texture assessment weeds out any underdeveloped beans. And finally, a highly experienced team conducts an expert scent test, making absolutely sure each bean exudes that signature, exquisite aroma. Once they make it inside the factory, the pristine beans get an intensive 3-hour makeover. They start in a specially designed rotating drum, tumbling against one another while powerful air jets blast away any residual dust and stubborn shells. But the real magic happens next in what's known as the fire challenge. I was amazed to learn this roasting process is a closely guarded secret, mostly because even the slightest deviation in the fire can completely alter the chocolate's final flavor profile. After surviving that intense roasting, the beans get crushed down in these massive grinders. It unlocks those deep flavors and turns everything into a thick paste. This paste is then put through a hydraulic press to squeeze out every last drop of cocoa butter. What you're left with are pure, perfectly round cocoa cakes that weigh exactly 7 kilograms each. These cakes are the absolute unadulterated essence of the cocoa flavor we all love. Next, those 7-kilo cocoa cakes are ground back down into a fine powder. That powder gets mixed with sugar, milk powder, pure cocoa butter, and secret emulsifiers in a multi-ton mixing machine. Then comes a crucial step, called conching. It sounds fancy, but basically this precise process grinds the chocolate particles down to microscopic sizes. The longer it conches, the creamier it gets, eventually resulting in this thick, velvety chocolate mass that resembles pure silk and will practically melt the second it hits your tongue. Which brings us to the final, critical hurdle for the liquid chocolate, tempering. See, if you just let liquid chocolate cool naturally, it forms these dull, unsightly crystals. Gross, right? So the factory carefully cycles the temperature up and down, ultimately cooling it to exactly 81 degrees Fahrenheit. Nailing that exact temperature ensures the glossy coat remains completely smooth and irresistibly appealing. Okay, so if the chocolate is the soul of the bar, the crispy wafer is definitely the heart. It's crafted from incredibly simple, familiar ingredients. We're talking refined wheat flour, purified water, sweet sugar, vegetable fats, and a pinch of salt. But the true magic? It lies in a top-secret leavening agent. When blended in a massive mixer, that secret ingredient breathes life into the batter, giving the wafer layers their signature light and airy texture. Once the batter is perfectly smooth, ultra-precise nozzles pump it into rectangular molds where it bakes at an intense 350 to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. But get this, it only stays in that inferno for 30 seconds. That ultra-fast, intense blast of heat is exactly what's needed to lock in the signature crispiness before the wafers are gently cooled down by streams of air. While those fresh wafers cool, the factory starts prepping the filling that goes between them. And this brings up a genuinely fascinating question. Honestly, it's one of the best-kept secrets of the entire operation. What exactly happens to the candy bars that don't pass quality control? You'd probably assume the chocolate inside the wafer is the exact same as the outside, right? Well, it's actually not. The outer layer is stiffer and firmer for structure and protection. But the inner filling is a slightly thinner chocolate cream that acts like a binder. And the secret ingredient? It's made entirely from a recycled, fine powder of rejected, flawed Kitkats. It is this brilliant zero-waste step that perfectly binds the fresh wafer layers together. So let's put it all together and see how this builds. Imagine these fresh wafers parading down the line, neatly arranged on a conveyor belt. They pass through this mesmerizing literal waterfall of chocolate, getting a delicate bath where 3 perfectly even, precise layers of chocolate are applied. Finally, a wafer layer is placed right on top to complete the masterpiece, before precision blades swiftly slice them into the portions we all know. The sheer speed here is honestly breathtaking. In just a blink, after 15 hours of patient processing, blending, and high-speed robotic molding, complete KitKat bars just materialize on the conveyor belt. They're filling hundreds of molds a minute, churning out over 200,000 flawless chocolate bars every single day on this machine line alone. But here's the thing. This candy's incredible global dominance isn't just about meticulous food science and zero-waste engineering. It's also about tapping directly into human psychology, with a phrase you absolutely already know by heart. Ever since its debut, all the way back in 1958, this phenomenal marketing slogan completely changed the game. It brilliantly connected the physical act of snapping that crispy wafer with our universal human desire to just escape stress and fatigue for a minute. Have a Break invites you to drop your worries, while Have a Kit Kat positions the candy as your ultimate sweet reward. It's a psychological pairing that built a worldwide empire. Meanwhile, back on the factory floor, the final strict quality checks are happening. Got a crack or a bubble? Boom, sent right back to become filling. The flawless bars are swiftly swathed in shiny foil and wrapped in their iconic red by crazy fast robotic arms. From there, they're transported to massive warehouses, ready to be loaded onto trucks and shipped out to eager consumers all around the globe. So, if there's one huge takeaway from this explainer, it's the insane balance of agricultural patience and high-tech engineering baked into every single bite. From an 8-day sun cure in West Africa to a 30-second oven blast and a genius zero-waste recycling loop, it is an unbelievable operation. Leaving you to wonder, does knowing all this change your perception of your next break? And will it taste just a little bit sweeter? Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.